Do not adjust your sets. That is the sun in the sky. Good morning. Right, I'm off for a random walk this morning. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, there's not a cloud to spoil the view or something like that. Yeah, so it's sunny, it's a little bit chilly, but not enough that I need a coat on, which is nice. So yeah, I've plotted a random walk in my Garmin app this morning, and it's going to be about 7.5 miles. Not quite sure where I'm going. Over to Strethill, I think, but other than that I'm not sure, so should be interesting. And I'll show you how to do that if you've got a Garmin app. I'll pop a little video on now for you. Okay, so I'm going to go through how I did my random walk this morning. So I go to my Garmin app, go to more down here, and then go to training, courses. There's a list of all my courses that I've done, and then we go to create course, and then you can choose what your activity is. I normally go to trail running because it doesn't have walking. So you can go to custom, where you can design your own course, or you can go to automatic, and then it'll ask you to select your distance. So it's set at 3, so I put in 7.5. okay, and then you can choose your direction. So I normally start off with random, press done, and then go to next, and it'll ask you to start your choose your start point. So it already knows where I am. There we go, it's calculated a course for me. So that's 7.22 miles, elevation gain 158 meters. So that's the random route that it's chosen for me. But you can go down here, and then we go to reroute. So random, I think, was north, so we'll choose the south, press done, and it's calculating another route. There we go. So that's 7.27 miles. So I quite like the look of that route. So we go up to done. There we go, and it saved it for me. So here's your choices here. So you can edit it, and you can change the name of the course type, privacy, whether you want other people to be able to see it on the Garmin app or if it's just available for you. So there it is, it's called Running 26th of February, and then if you want you can send it to your device. So if you've got a device linked, so I've got my Garmin Fenix, click on that and it sent it to my watch, ready for me to follow. There we go. So that's how I chose my walk this morning. So I've just come, I've walked up Glendinning Way and then turned down into a cul-de-sac called Squires Close, I think. And then there was a path down the side of two houses that's brought me out to here, which I think is Lloyd's Coppice. I could be wrong, but I think it's Lloyd's Coppice. But yeah, it's a lovely morning, really nice. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't put my down jacket on. I think I would be sweating. But yeah, temperature's just right, really nice. So we had Boris's announcement on the 22nd of February, the road out of lockdown. So from the 29th of March we can travel a bit further to do our exercise and possibly meet up to 6 people outdoors, which is good news. But until then I'm going to carry on with my lockdown challenge that was set up by Anthony Johnson on YouTube. So I've been exploring the area directly from my doorstep, not going anywhere in the car to do any exercise. So I'm going to carry on with that, and then hopefully after the 29th of March I'll be able to travel a bit further in Shropshire and carry on with my Shropshire Way stages that I've only done one of so far, so hopefully be able to carry on with that. So yeah, I don't think I'll be going crazy and travelling anywhere very far after the 29th, just leave it a little bit and see what the situation is regarding COVID. So yeah, there's some things to look forward to, but with everything I'm taking it with a little pinch of salt at the moment. See nearer the time what's happening. So I've been walking along the Silken Way since I went through that very snug style. So I'm coming off the Silken Way now, coming down here, which is a nice zigzag path. Takes us down to Coalport Bridge. very spring-like this morning. It's more like the end of March, beginning of April. It's lovely. So I'm just going over the Coalport Memorial Bridge. So as you saw on that plaque, it was opened in 1922, and the whole bridge is actually a war memorial. And here is the war memorial. You might not be able to see it because of the sun. So it's got First World War names and some Second World War names. So that's the old Moors tile works, which is now partly apartments, partly a craft centre. It's an amazing building. It's completely run down in the late 1970s. So we're walking down kind of the top end of Jackfield now, and just over in the distance you can probably see a terracotta building, which is Jackfield Church, and then there's all this land around here that goes down to the river. And there actually used to be more of Jackfield up here, houses, a whole entire village up this end. Up until about the 1950s, but over the years it had suffered from major landslips, possibly caused by the mining that went on around here and just what the land was made up of. So I think in the 1950s was the last major landslip that they had, and the rest of the village just disappeared. They had slippage problems up until about 5 or 6 years ago, and all this land here has had major restabilisation works done on it. They still found remnants of old buildings while they were doing the restabilisation, and they've left some of those just as a reminder. So here we go, here's one of the old remains of buildings. I don't know if it was somebody's house, but if I can find a picture of the last major landslip, I'll pop one on. So now walking past the Craven, Dunhill and Co. Limited Jackfield Encaustic and Decorative Tile Works. That's their air conditioning that you can hear. So as you can see, it is a vast building, and I think at the time that it was in production it was the largest tile works in the world. So if I'm correct, they started out down at Moors, the one I went past, and then outgrew that and then built this. This is now the Jackfield Tile Museum. It's beautiful inside, some lovely examples. So this is the entrance into the Tile Museum. So encaustic means that it's made up of clays of different colours to create the pattern. And I think they got a lot of their clay from Broseley, which is famous for its clay. It's clay pipes and everything. Yeah, it's a beautiful museum. If you get a chance to go, once we're out of lockdown, there's some fabulous examples of tiles in there. So it's hard to imagine, but back in the 18th, 19th century, Jackfield was a really bustling, industrial little town. I mean, what we see today is probably only a third of what it was. There was lots of chimneys and factories all along the river, mainly making tiles and ceramic ware. So if I can find a picture of what it used to look like, I'll put one on. But it was also described as quite a seedy place because it was near the river. You used to get undesirables coming in, and there used to be brothels and a lot more pubs than what there are now. So yeah, it was quite a place. So I'm now walking along an old railway line. It's got a name, something like the Damson Line or the Blueberry Line or something like that. But it's now part of a cycle network. It's great for walking along as well. And I think it takes you all the way, possibly from Shrewsbury all the way to Bewdley. I'm not sure, I'd have to double check. So I'm just coming up to one of the many old bridges that cross over the railway line. So this one still carries traffic. So that was the old Ironbridge station, now a restaurant. And all this area here where this car park was all part of the railway. So you can see part of the old railway line here that comes from the car park and goes along that way through the woods. But I'm not following that now. I'm going to follow going over the Ironbridge. Which is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the whole Ironbridge Gorge. So that's the world famous Ironbridge, first iron cast bridge in the world. Cast at Coalbrookdale, at the Coalbrookdale foundry that I showed you on my last video, which sadly is now closed. And it was engineered by Abraham Darby III. So again, the town of Ironbridge, up until about the mid-1980s, was in a terrible state really. A lot of the houses and businesses were falling down, were empty, almost in ruin. And it's only when the Ironbridge Gorge was kind of, people realised its significant history, that money was spent to bring Ironbridge up to what it is now, a major tourist attraction. So that's what remains of Buildwas Power Station. So the large block, square block that's right in front of the tall chimney, they're going to be demolishing tomorrow, 27th of February. So yeah, it's going to make a hell of a bang. So sadly, the lovely towers that once stood kind of there-ish were demolished the end of 2019, and all that's going to be gone soon for housing, lots of housing. But this is Strethill that I'm on now, and it's absolutely beautiful up here. Really lovely. I'd love to come and camp up here. It's a bit muddy though. So just carrying on discussing what my plans are after kind of lockdown eases. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully do more walks in Shropshire, but further afield, because there's so much of Shropshire that I'd love to show you. Such a beautiful county, some amazing walks. So I'm kind of running out of bits that I can film right by my doorstep now without repeating myself. And then later in the year, my major walking challenge that I've got set up is the Cleveland Way up in North Yorkshire. It's about 109 miles through the North York Moors and then along the coast. So starting in Helmsley and finishing at Filey. So that's in September, so fingers crossed it's going to go ahead. I've saved all the money I've paid for most of my accommodation and it's booked, so the only things left to book now is one campsite for one night and then my train tickets up and back home. So it's all ready to go, just got to get the green light later on in the year. So I'm just coming away from Strethill now. I'll be walking down this lane here, which I think takes me into Coalbrookdale. So I don't know if you're just able to see through the trees there, that building there, that's the, so I'm just up the back now of the old Coalbrookdale foundry where they cast the parts for the Ironbridge. Now sadly standing empty, as all the, they used to make Arga ranges there and that's all gone to China now. So sadly I believe there is going to be housing there as well because it's been bought by Shropshire Homes. So it's a massive site. Yeah, more housing. So I'm just coming down Derby Road now into Coalbrookdale. Just see through there parts of the old Coalbrookdale Ironworks, which is now where one of the museums belonging to the Ironbridge Gorge Museum Trust. I'm just going along a viaduct here that carried a railway line, one of the many railway lines that were in this area. Again now sadly disused. Just looking down into part of the old foundry here at Coalbrookdale. So it was Abraham Darby I that had a foundry here, smelting iron. Still by the side of the viaduct, and then you've got all these cottages here, which I presume were workers' cottages for the foundry. And then just up that road up there, you've got some big old houses, which are called the Darby houses, which is where the Darby family lived. So they were right close to their foundries. Let's keep an eye on everyone. Here we go. Here's one of the pools here that was used to power the foundry, so it was all powered by water. They were pretty ingenious back in the day, really. Hydropower. So I've just come out onto an area now called Rough Park. It's a big old nature reserve now, but it used to have quarries. So I'm just going to be leaving Rough Park now. So you can see that there's mounds, and there's quite just over there there's a big dip as well, and mounds. So it used to be quarries. I could be wrong, but I think they quarried clay to make bricks, and then obviously when those industries went, they got filled with water, and kids were playing in the water, and it was very dangerous. So they were drained of water, and now it's become a nature reserve. Right, I'm nearly home now. It's been an absolutely gorgeous morning. So glad I went out. Really spring-like. Right, so yes, carrying on my hashtag lockdown challenge, exploring my area. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and there will be more. Give that bell icon a little tickle, and you'll be the first to know when any videos are put on YouTube. And also give that like button, show it some love, go on, give it a little clutch. Thank you again, take care, see you soon.